to the Making the Madness YouTube channel. This is Jonathan here to break down the news as Keyonte George has decided to head to Baylor. Certainly a big commitment for the Baylor Bears. He is right now the number 2 prospect in the class of 2022, only trailing Amari Bailey, who has already committed to UCLA. Now, the class of 2022 has gotten a little bit weaker with Jalen Duran and Amani Bates both heading to the class of 2021, but certainly getting Keyonte George, the number 2 prospect in that class, is certainly going to be big for Baylor. And this is now a Baylor team that, going into the near future looks to be good. George himself, he's just a good overall kind of guard. He can run the point. He can play off the ball. He's a shooter from all 3 levels. Plays with a high basketball IQ. Just has all the skill sets you would want in a kind of lead slash, off-ball guard. He can run the point, play off the ball, maybe like a little bit of Jared Butler-like. Probably, much better than Jared Butler was at this age. But, if you get a Jared Butler-type player, that is certainly going to be a very big player for Baylor. And, Scott Drew, his staff has shown how to use guards in this college basketball world. So getting Keyonte George to come in, he's someone who's regarded as a hard worker, someone who's going to come in, be dedicated to the craft. I mean, all intents and purposes, this is exactly the type of player you would want if you're Baylor. Maybe reclassifies, probably not, but I mean, either way, this is certainly a big get for Baylor. Going into, I guess, not next season, but the following season, getting someone like Keyonte George. So, I mean, with George now in the lineup, we look ahead kind of to 2022. It's going to be interesting to see who actually ends up on the roster. You certainly have James Akinjo, who could be there, could be, the kind of starting point guard. They got in Dylan Hunter already, a 4.5-star kind of commit. Top 50 type of player already in the class. He could, be there at the guard spot. You'll have Adam Flagler most likely back. I don't think he has, any intentions of leaving. So Adam Flagler is certainly going to be there. Langston Love, Kendall Brown. I think Brown's probably going to be in the NBA next season. He just has too much upside. But Langston Love, I would probably say, ends up being there. LJ Cryer probably going to be there. So, I mean, you could have Akinjo, Flagler, Keyonte George, Langston Love. That's a good kind of 3-headed monster similar to the one they had this year. And then, going to the front court, we'll see about Matthew Meyer. He might or might not be, back for another season. Shamoa Shachua, Flo Thamba, Dane Danger, I think will kind of take care of the front court. Matthew Meyer will be kind of the big decision maker, whether he kind of breaks out this season. If he, is there for that upcoming season, that's a Baylor team that could be top 5 preseason. It's going to be interesting to kind of see what ends up happening with this year's Baylor team, but certainly looking ahead to 2022, they could be right back in contention, to win another national championship. They could win it this year, maybe three-peat. I would say most likely they'd, finish 3rd or so this type of year. But, going into next season with Keyonte George now in the fold, Baylor certainly looks like maybe an early preseason favorite to win the Big 12 for the following season. Thanks again for tuning in to Making the Madness on YouTube. We'll be back more with some more commitments. Stay tuned.